Well, we're going to talk about high inflation and high inflation with a very strong U.S. dollar, and we're going to contrast this with Turkey, which happens to be the poster child at the moment for inflation. Now, everything in the world is expressed in U.S. dollars, all the commodities of the world. So that means wheat and copper, gold and silver, oil, of course, natural gas, aluminum. Everything is expressed in U.S. dollars. Now, we here in the United States, we're blessed with the fact that we're the Federal Reserve currency, or reserve currency of the world, and the U.S. dollar is strong. It's very common for the U.S. dollar to be floating between 88 and 92 on the DXY. We've had some turmoil in the world, we've had some problems in the world, we've had some uncertainty in the world, and when that happens, assets start to flow into U.S. dollars because they're concerned. So we have a Ukrainian conflict, and we're getting Europeans and those around the world who are concerned of a larger war. They're taking their assets and getting them into U.S. dollars, causing the U.S. dollar to get stronger. So it means it takes less and less U.S. dollars to buy a product, but it's still a lot of U.S. dollars to buy oil and a lot of these commodities. Having a strong dollar has helped. It certainly hasn't prevented inflation. Now, we've been talking about the fact that oil is in virtually everything, but let's use gasoline as an example. Now, gasoline's very expensive. If you're using U.S. dollars, it costs $100. Look what happens at producer price level. When you see these go into the U.S. price level, and its raw materials go up 11.2% at the producer price level. This is the wholesale. This is before anything is made. This is when the manufacturers are buying goods from the mines, they're buying it from the drillers, they're getting wheat from the farmers, and they're going to turn it into bread, they're going to turn it into buns, they're going to cakes, they're going to turn it into wire, they're going to turn it into gasoline at the producer price level. Even with the strong U.S. dollar, we've had 11.2% inflation. Now, there's two types of inflations that are going now. One is monetary, because we've had some stimulus checks that went out, trillions of dollars in stimulus. That has to go somewhere. And we have a shortage that's causing price increases on shortages. So now we have chip shortages, we have manufactured shortages, we have energy and gas shortages. And it's when you ever have a shortage, why people start bidding for that product, and of course they'll raise the price. So we have two different factors that are forcing this inflation. So we have some very, very strong inflationary factors going on, and it's causing an inflationary spiral. People are starting to expect that prices are going to go up, and they're starting to price in higher and higher prices into their product. It becomes a very, very bad cycle. Let's look what happens if your dollar, in this case the Turkish lira, loses value against the US dollar, which is the reserve currency of the world. Now, in Turkey, they've lost 70% of their purchasing power in the last 3 or 4 years. Now, when I talk about purchasing power, I use those words because we as baby boomers need to be concerned about our purchasing power. Now, if you've been following my videos, and I would love you to subscribe. We try and bring very valuable information to you. We'd love to get your comments, and if you would subscribe, it would really help with the algorithms. Now, we were talking about Turkey in relationship to us as baby boomers that retire, because in benign inflation, we've lost 52% of our purchasing power over 22 years. Turkey lost 70% of its purchasing power in the last 3 or 4 years. So when we are complaining that a barrel of oil is at $100 US, it would be $170 in Turkish liras. So they pay 70% more than we do. This is destroying their economy. Can you imagine being on a fixed income, like many of you are, like a lot of my clients are on? They only have so many dollars coming in and have prices go up 70%. How would you survive? How would you do this if prices went up 70%? What if bread went up to $10 a loaf? It's at $5 or $6 at Costco for two of them. It used to be a lot less money than that. What if it went to 10? And of course, that would go across all categories. Everything is because Turkey's a modern country, but they import almost all of their energies, and they import a lot of food. That means medicine goes up. That means heart medication, insulin, all the antibiotics, all these things go up in price. And Turkey has had over 50% inflation in the last 12 months. What would you do if things went up that high? Because the US dollar is at an extraordinarily high level at this point. Typically, we run 88 to 92, could go down to 72. That would be a low extreme, could go that low. But at the moment, we're over 100, which is an extreme high. Odds of it going lower from here are pretty significant. So if the US dollar, this is my concern for inflation moving forward, if the US dollar does what the Turkish dollar does, does, it loses some of its purchasing value. Inflation is going to be reflected in a producer price index, and that's going to spill over into the consumer price index, and inflation is going to continue. You need to protect yourself. Now, we've been talking about this. For some reason, people just don't believe us. You need to have at least 2 properties. The best inflation hedge we on Main Street can get is a single family home that we can rent out, because as prices go up, we can raise the rent and protect our purchasing power, and just 2 in your portfolio is going to make a huge difference in your life. Now, if you come to our seminars, and we have one forming for June, we talk about the fact we'd like you to get 10. You know, when you're my age and you have 10 free and clear properties, man, your life is just really, really good. You're doing very, very well. We'd love to see you to do that. You still have an opportunity to do that. Get my book, How to Create a Real Estate Money Machine and Retire with Income. Retire at any age, because it is a financial decision, not an age where you don't have to wait till you're 65, to get Social Security. We're talking about finances, getting a money machine put together that you have income coming each and every month. I'd love to support you. You can buy this anywhere in the world. You can buy it in Australia, India, Japan. I have a lot of support in Japan, and of course you can get it at Amazon or the Barnes & Nobles. If you need to reach me, I'm at michael@michaelville.com. We'd also love to have your real estate business. We are very, very good at what we do. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. It's one of the great markets of the country. We're represented by West USA. They did $5.6 billion here in Phoenix, Arizona. They do our compliance, they do our back office work and our paperwork. You're welcome to call me at their corporate office, and we'll arrange for a time we can meet. You can do a Zoom meeting. I'll talk to your financial advisor, certainly to your spouse. You're always welcome to reach me at michael@michaelville.com. Let's find out what's good for you, and let's make a plan.